Namaskar. Welcome to Ancient Wisdom. Today we are going to look into three invisible killers on the road. As already seen, the comparison between new cars and ancient cars or old cars, cars from 1950 and 20, and we have also seen that the new cars are much safer. But at the same time, statistics shows that the number of people dying on the roads is increasing day by day. And when we apply analysis of variance, it is not just because the number of vehicles is increasing. There are many more reasons than just the number of vehicles or the speed or the potholes on the road. All these factors taken away, still the rate is much too high. And that is partly because of these invisible killers where people are not aware about it. So what are these invisible killers? There are three. One is the air condition. Second is power steering. And the third, and interestingly, the third is the music system. We will see how these three contribute to the death rate or increase of death rate on the road. The first one, the air conditioner. In earlier days, very few cars were air conditioned. They were having a boxy design, and most drivers, of course, would drive with windows down. Even in cold countries, a part of the window would be down. Because of this, you would be aware all the time about what is happening around you. You would be aware of the atmosphere around you, the speed of the vehicle, because it is a audio visual input that you are getting, and you would be in a position to control the car in a much better fashion. Today with the air conditioner, the audio part has become zero. There is no input from the immediate environment to the driver. He does not know whether he is driving at the speed of 40 or 60 or 80 or 100. There are no visual markers, and when he is looking straight and the road is straight, he has absolutely no idea unless he consciously keeps looking at the speedometer. This is the reason on a lonely road or on the straight road, the speed goes on increasing indefinitely. And suddenly, if there is a turning, if there is an obstacle or something else, the driver is not in a position to control it. The second is an aid to the first one, the music system. Because driving is a monotonous activity, many people would set up some music that they like, and based on that music, they would try to reduce their boredom. But this again isolates them from the speed of the vehicle, just the way the air conditioner does. That sound is a distraction. Anybody talking to you also is a distraction. And because of that distraction, you get isolated from the atmosphere or the surroundings. Again, the speed may increase, your eyes may not be on the road, you might be thinking of something, and distracted leads to problem. And the third, which most people think is an advantage, The power steering. The power steering is definitely advantage and a improvement on the earlier type of screw and pinion type of steering. In case of power steering, much lesser force needs to be applied to the steering to turn the vehicle. It makes the vehicle very easy to park, very easy to navigate on the road in a zigzag fashion also, and also to take U-turns in the road. In case of power steering, the steering is assisted by hydraulic power which is connected to the car engine, and every movement that you make on the steering is expanded or exaggerated by this hydraulic power or the engine power. But it has got two big problems. What are these two big problems? One is, if the battery dies when the car is running, or the engine dies when the car is running the road, this steering locks up because there is no connection, no physical connection between the steering and the wheel. That connection is taken up by the hydraulic. It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. But the second and most important part is that because there is no connection between the wheel and the steering, for the driver there is no input about the road, its conditions, or the vibration of the wheels. These do not transmit to his hands as it used to in the older vehicles. As a result of which, many of the drivers drive with just two fingers of one hand on the steering wheel, whereas what is actually necessary is full concentration, both hands on the steering wheel. And because this connection is totally lost, again, as in the earlier two instances, you are isolated and you don't have any connection with the reality of the speed increasing or the reality of the atmosphere or the environment. And this is the way these three contribute to the accident. And that is the time you see an obstacle, you push your foot on the brake and the vehicle swerves, because this is a speed for which this brake is not meant. The brake has to be pumped, your speed has to be reduced in stages, because otherwise the car becomes unstable. And this is the common scenario in most of the accidents which happen on highways and freeways. So beware of these three silent killers, invisible killers, and make sure that when you are driving, you are getting some feedback, some inputs from your environment, which is your savior. And that is all from Ancient Wisdom for today. Namaskar.